Have you ever wished that you had a place somewhere sunny and tropical, like Sarasota, Florida, but not sure you want to commit to the responsibility and expense of having a second home? Maybe you've done some online research and you've seen some properties that talk about fractional ownership, and you wondered, what is that? Is that a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you it is not the same thing as a timeshare. In this video, I'll explain the difference between fractional ownership, timeshares, and a third type of shared ownership called cooperative ownership. I'll tell you how those work in Florida, and you can decide whether those might be a great alternative for you. Let's start with fractional ownership. With fractional ownership, you buy a deeded fraction of a property. You might own 1/8 or 1/6 of a condominium unit, and other people own the other fractions. It is deeded real estate, so it is tangible property. You can buy and sell it, and you can leave it to your heirs. A few examples of fractional ownership properties available here in Florida include Siesta Key beach residences, which is right here in Sarasota. There's another one on a barrier island between Sarasota and Fort Myers called Club Villas at Palm Island. And there are a couple more on the east coast of Florida. One is called Timbers Juniper, and the other one is the Ritz-Carlton Club at Juniper. All of these properties offer uber luxury and concierge everything. They're professionally managed, so you don't have to worry about maintenance or cleaning or scheduling of guests. They take care of everything. You simply show up, enjoy your time there, and go home. So what are the benefits for fractional ownership? Well, for one thing, the upfront cost is typically lower than it would be if you outright bought a condo or a single family property. For example, right now, fractions of Unit 312 in Siesta Key beach residences are for sale. So if you'd be interested in weeks 32 to 33, which is approximately mid-August and not exactly the best time to vacation in the tropics, because it's too hot and humid, that is for sale for about $10,000. Now, if you want to buy weeks 8 to 9, which is about mid-February, which is peak tourist season here in Sarasota, a great time to get out of the cold up north, that is for sale for $80,000. And like with most fractional ownership properties, it's very luxurious and resort-like there. And you get the advantage, because it's real property, that if it goes up in value, you get to share in the appreciation and accumulated equity of the property. And as I mentioned earlier, you can buy and sell it just like any real property. So what are the drawbacks? Well, the fees. The monthly or annual fees that you pay there for that Unit 312, for instance, is about $1,000 a month. And you pay that all year, even though you're only occupying the property for 2 weeks. There is virtually no financing available for fractional ownership properties. So all of those transactions have to be cash. And last, fractional ownership properties are usually harder to sell. So how does that compare to a timeshare property? With a timeshare property, you don't own any real property. What you have is a contractual right to use a property that's owned by somebody else. What are the advantages? Again, lower upfront cost and usually luxury resort-like accommodations. And with timeshares, oftentimes you can trade with other timeshare owners through one of their big networks that they have. So you might be able to spend 1 year in your Sarasota timeshare and the next year trade it with somebody who has a timeshare in San Francisco and have a different vacation every year. And what are the drawbacks of timeshares? Well, no financing, high fees, and when you do try to resell your timeshare, almost everybody loses money. And what about that third type of shared property that I mentioned, called cooperative or co-op for short? These are very popular in New York City and Miami Beach. And we do have a smattering of them here in Sarasota. Most of the cooperative properties here in this market are mobile home parks, but there are a few that are condominium buildings. With a cooperative property, again, you do not own real property. What you buy in a cooperative are shares in a corporation, and that corporation owns the property. Your shares entitle you to occupy a property. But cooperatives are run by a co-op board, and they're the ones that have to approve who buys in there. They set the rules and regulations, and they are allowed to limit rentals in there. So what are the advantages of a cooperative property? Well, again, lower upfront cost. Someone else handles the maintenance and cleaning of the place. And cooperative properties generally have a strong sense of community among the owners because they're a little more full-time than you see with fractional ownership or timeshare type of properties. The disadvantages, again, are high fees. There are very limited financing options for these. They do have some cooperative loans out there in the world, but they're hard to come by. So usually those transactions are cash. And because the co-op board has to approve any buyer, that can place a roadblock when you go to try to sell your shares. So to sum up this video, with fractional ownership, you have real tangible property with a deed. With timeshares, you have a contractual right to use a property. And with co-ops, you're buying shares in a corporation that owns the property. But if you're somebody who's just dipping their toe into real estate in Florida and not sure exactly where you want to be or what type of property you want, one of these options just might work for you. If you want information about affordable condos in Florida, I have this great video called Affordable Beachfront Condos, Sarasota. In that video, I talk about various condos that are available for sale under the $1 million mark. And if you need help weighing your options, I'm here to help you. My name's Kris Kesling-Hays. I'm a real estate broker with Preferred Properties of Sarasota, and I'm a mortgage loan originator. And if you're crazy about condos like I am, subscribe to my channel for more insider tips on condos in Sarasota.